Good evening and welcome to Soundboard. On Soundboard, for a half an hour, we listen to, talk about fretted instruments, guitar, classical guitar, everything that has to do with that instrument. Tonight we have a very special guest with us, Emmett Chapman, who is not only a consummate musician but also an inventor of an entirely new musical instrument that uses frets but no soundboard. So I suppose for this issue we ought to call this show Frets, but it's soundboard nonetheless. We're going to be listening to some traditional music, to a lot of jazz, improvisation, and a whole new language of music and instrumental technique. I'll tell you what we'll start with. My guest's first number is going to be a variations or an improvisation on the famous tune Green Sleeves. So let me play it for you the way it was written about 500 years ago, and then we'll listen to it the way it's been played, not for the last 500 years, but for about the last 10 years since the invention of the stick. Thank you, Emmett Chapman. That was Greensleeves. I'm sure you recognize the melody. First I played it the old way, and now one other way, at least one other way to do it, the new way, on an instrument called the stick. The inventor of this instrument, Emmett Chapman, who you've just heard improvising on it, an incredible new musical instrument. It's ironic that we're featuring Emmett on a program called Soundboard because this instrument doesn't have a soundboard, does it? It's almost all neck, or it is all neck.
It's a large fingerboard.
Mm-hmm.
It's very wide to accommodate 10 strings, and it's long to accommodate 2 octaves. And the result is a range almost as great as piano, going down to C below low E on bass, and up to E flat, which is the top of guitar.
Well, I'll tell you what, since you've got it all laid out right there, let me just hold my instrument in comparison, just right there on your lap. Yeah, it's, the frets are the same, and it's got strings. That's about where it's top. Could you play your lowest note on that instrument? We need to turn it up a little there. This is an electronic instrument, I'm sure you've noticed.
The lowest note is the only one that I would pluck.
Mm-hmm. Boy, that's earth-shaking, isn't it?
So this is E, the lowest note on bass.
Mm-hmm. And it goes up for 2 octaves all the way across. Why don't you leave the amplifier on just a little bit longer so we can listen to how the strings are tuned to each other. As you noticed with this instrument, the bass strings are on this side, and the treble strings, in other words, the strings get higher as they go up. But on this instrument, they go up in both directions.
Right. The outside string is the first string, and it's tuned to D above middle C. And they work down in fourths. And then there's a low string, and it goes back up in fifths. And the fifths and the fourths match. But they match in reverse pitch. The pitch of the bass is going down.
Switched around, yes.
The melody's going up.
Did you start life as a guitar player?
I started playing guitar when I was in my early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I only occasionally played accordion when I was a kid.
So you had that experience of having both hands up and pressing inwards, which is something that you've developed with this instrument.
That's right. Sometime I think about that. I never recognized that there might be an influence until long after I was into it.
Yeah, yeah. The guitar that you started playing, that was a normal plectrum style, played with the right hand and left hand as per usual?
My first guitar was a 7-string guitar, and I put an extra string on it so that I could play bass in a trio. I was going to UCLA and working myself through college, singing nightclub gigs, Ventura Boulevard, and had a piano, guitar, and drums, and no bass. So I put a bass string on my guitar. And I had this big idea to start a trio, and even though I didn't play any more than guitar bar chords on guitar. So the bass helped out a lot. And then it became finally an 11-string guitar.
Still with the body, however?
Yes. Yeah. It had a spoon-shaped body.
Was that custom built for you?
I built it myself. Yeah.
Oh boy. Was it an electric instrument?
Yes, it was solid body electric.
Solid body, I see. And of course, everything we hear from this instrument, it is amplified because there's nothing acoustic to help us hear when the strings are waving.
That's right.
Did you design this beautiful pickup too? The whole design of the instrument is so elegant.
Yeah, it's all designed so it'll fly. And
a musical spear.
This is designed so that the pickups will fit under the strings in the right place, and so that it will have a nice appearance too.
Yes, yes, very striking.
It's adjustable from the back side so that you can get everything up very close to the strings, which is necessary on this instrument since you're just touching the string very lightly.
Just as much as you'd hit, let's say, an electric typewriter?
Yes.
Very light touch.
Yeah, even lighter. And these pick up the sound very well of the string striking the fret on both sides.
And that's part of the sound, isn't it? It's not like a pluck on a guitar or a hammer hitting a string like it is on a piano. It's a little bit of both.
It's a sound a little like a clavinet because on a clavinet a metal object hits a string from the rear side.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know you're going to play lots of music for us today. What are you going to play next for us?
I'd like to play an original composition. It's called Backyard.
Great, and we'd also like to watch you put the instrument on because you have a special hook there as well on the back.
That's right. It hooks into your pants.
How much does the instrument weigh?
About 7 pounds.
7 pounds. And this is a composition again entitled?
It's called Backyard.
Backyard.
Yeah.
Emmett Chapman playing Backyard. Beautiful composition, Emmett.
Thank you.
Was that written in your backyard?
It's written in my back room.
Your back room.
Yeah.
Great, great. That's such an interesting combination because you, as an inventor, I suppose, had to create an instrument that described what you heard in your head. Is that right?
It was.
Or did it go both hand in hand?
It was a discovery of a new technique and a change of character, a total change of style from whatever I was doing on guitar, from one instant to the next. And then immediately going out and playing with it. I mean, 1 month, a week after I discovered the technique, I was playing it. And a few months later, I played with Barney Kessel.
Really?
At Dante's, and yeah, this is a long time ago.
Jeez.
And then I woodshedded for a long time after that, developing the instrument so that it would be playable. It would be more than just in my imagination. It would play easier and better and clearer.
Now you're talking about things technically about how high the frets are, what the wood is made of, that sort of thing?
Yes.
The physical instrument itself?
Yeah, just hundreds of innovations in the craft of a fretted instrument to make this style of playing possible. The board has no arch. It's rectangular. It has no taper. It's very low. The action is very low, and it's trussed in the back with spring-tempered steel.
Oh, really? So no weather will change how straight the neck goes itself?
That's right. It remains very straight so that the action can be extremely low on the strings. And the lower the action is, the better it plays. The more dynamics you can get, the more expression you can get from it.
Wonderful. Do you find that as you, let's say, refine something on the instrument itself, it will open up a new area for you musically? Because you're not only building them yourself, you're also playing them. I imagine you building during the day and out playing at night.
Well, I don't play that often. Like I may play 2 or 3 times a month. So, but I play a lot at home. I mean, I'm developing my technique, and I practice by the hour. And I get a steamroller effect going where my left hand is like a drum solo, you know, and like setting up conga drums and just playing and keeping the rhythm going. And then the right hand plays against that.
Yeah, I've noticed that in your last number. Not only have you become the bass in your band, you're also the drummer.
Yeah,
so your bass, drums, chords, and melody all together in one.
Yeah, each time I've been inspired by an instrument, I end up swallowing it up on this instrument. It was at
What
first,
instrument is next? Don't listen to a tuba. We'll all be in trouble.
the next instrument is a synthesizer.
Ah.
Because this instrument can be synthesized, and it works very well.
Have you? Oh, you've already experimented with it then a
Yes.
little bit.
Yes.
It almost sounds a little synthetic, the sound itself, because we're so unused to it. It's not plucked, it's not struck. It has that unusual, almost machine-made sound to it. But then, at least with this instrument, you get the live string moving. So it's got the best of both worlds.
Right, your fingers are right on the strings, and you can do all the slides and all the bends that you can do on a string instrument. But it's very clear. You can play anywhere in the space.
Yes.
And it's clear. You don't have to worry so much about fret technique on this instrument.
Yeah. Well, what's the next number you're going to play? I just don't want you to stop playing. It's such a beautiful sound.
Well, thank you. I'd like to play a song by John McLaughlin from Intermounting Flame, and it's called A Lotus on Irish Streams.
Music by John McLaughlin. That's A Lotus on Irish Strings, performed and arranged by Emmett Chapman, our special guest today. Emmett, I know that there are many other people in this world that play the stick as well. It's appeared in the band Kitty Hawk and a few other nationally recognized bands. Is it becoming a popular instrument?
It is, slowly. I've been making them since 1975, and by now there are several groups out playing. Tony Levin has been playing with King Crimson and Peter Gabriel, and playing to millions and millions of people using the stick. And I get plenty of inquiries from that, and plenty of interested people finding my advertisements and sending me letters. And there's a local group, Kitty Hawk, with Paul Edwards and Dan Bortz. Both of them play the stick. Paul Edwards now is the principal stick player of that group. And Randy Strom plays with them occasionally too. And there are also quite a few other names of that I could tell you, people who own the stick. But
yes. There are about, what, 400 or 500 of them out in the world now being struck. You can't say plucked, can you?
Tapped. Yeah, struck.
I know when I first saw the instrument, I wanted to know more and more and more, and every time I hear you play it, I want to know more about it. It's a wonderful instrument. You have a closing number for us, I think.
I'd like to play Waltzing Matilda.
Great. Waltzing Matilda. Emmett, thank you so much.
You're welcome, John.
Look forward to hearing more from the stick. Until next time, I've been your host, John Schneider. Thanks for joining us.